I just listened to the one album by Billion Dollar Babies, and here are my thoughts. So I'm around a third of the way through AC/DC right now, and so I thought I'd take this time to just give you another little interesting piece of classic rock history. So around 2 months ago, I did an Alice Cooper video, and it got, comparatively for my channel, it got a lot of views, a lot of likes, a lot of comments, and so I found this album, and I thought you might be interested to hear about it. So just from the name Billion Dollar Babies, a lot of you might recognize that is the name of an Alice Cooper album. It is the second to last album that Alice Cooper did with the Alice Cooper Band. So Alice Cooper, started off as a musician and a band, right? It was the singer right from their first album. He was credited as Alice Cooper, but they also really thought of themselves as a band. They made decisions somewhat democratically. They all had songwriting credits, right? They were trying to do like a Beatles or Led Zeppelin-esque thing where, where it was a band, it was a team effort, and all the members of the band really mattered. Unfortunately, with the style of Alice Cooper's music and the man's singing and his stage presence, and just the name Alice Cooper, people began to associate Alice Cooper with the man, not the band. So when they took a break after their Muscle of Love album, they took a break from recording and touring, and the understanding at the time they took their break was that they were all going to get back together. But what happened next was Alice Cooper, the man, released his first solo album, but it was under the same name, so no one else cared. And from then on, Alice Cooper was a solo act. The rest of the band was unhappy about this, and 3 of the members decided to form their own band and name it after what was, I believe, their most popular album, Billion Dollar Babies. These 3 members were Neil Smith on drums, Dennis Dunaway on bass, and then Michael Bruce, who was Alice Cooper's rhythm guitarist. He's now still a guitarist, but he's also taken over lead vocal duties on this album. Separately, they brought over another guitarist and a keyboardist, and they get to work recording this album. Sales-wise, this album did not do well, and that is why this is their only album. They had disbanded after it failed. Now, there's some good things and some bad things about this album, but I'll start with the good. To start off with the good, this album just very simply has some very good songs. To me, the best songs were Shine Your Love, Love is Rather Blind, and Rock and Roll Radio. Thought those were all really good. There were very few songs on the album that I really glazed over or really didn't care for. The album came across as pretty solid, aside from those songs that I particularly picked out as being really good. I think of all the songs, Wasn't I the One was the only one that I would say I kind of disliked. The first song, Too Young, can be either good or bad depending on your mindset, right? If you're really good at channeling like how you felt when you were 16 or 17 years old, and your parents never let you wear band shirts or go to concerts because it was too irresponsible or satanic or something. If you're able to channel that mood, then this song can scratch an itch for you. But on the other hand, like, I'm 30 years old. I know a lot of you are on the older side if you're specifically on the classic rock TikTok, and I came to your algorithm. So in that way, I think that this song is very dated. It's specifically meant to appeal to you if you lived in that time, and you were listening to it in that time. Now, if we kind of pivot to the bad, we did the good. It's time to do the bad. Oh God, this thought is going to sound so much harsher than I mean it, but as a whole, this album sounds like an Alice Cooper cover band at a casino. Like, with the style of the music and their messaging, it sounds so much like Alice Cooper, and that makes sense. Like, this was the Alice Cooper band, but it sounds like they're intentionally trying to compete with Alice Cooper, or maybe like send him some sort of message, and maybe they were hoping that message would be sent a little bit better or more effectively. When really, Alice Cooper, the man, is so important to what made Alice Cooper, Alice Cooper. Dear God, I wonder how many times I've said Alice Cooper in this video. And you can hear in the lead vocals, you can hear Michael trying to imitate Alice, but he does it with so much less confidence, and there's so much less personality that is oozing through the music, like there is when you're listening to Alice. But now, what is it, 50 years later, ish? Yeah, I think it'd be about 50 years later. We have a standalone album that is a pretty interesting piece of classic rock history. So I would definitely check out the song "Shine Your Love." That was a really good song. I'll play a few samples since I have time at the end of this video, and if you're too lazy to look it up yourself, you'll hear some clips of some of my favorite songs. But yeah, that is really it. Thank you for watching.